covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4.
And here's a look at some of the stories we're working on across the DMV today.
Storms are beginning to pop up across much of the Blue Ridge. We'll have a look at that forecast, guys, coming up.
A construction worker shot and killed on the campus of Howard University in the district. Police believe it happened during an attempted robbery. Hear how those in the area are reacting this afternoon.
Plus, summer has just arrived, but parents in Maryland are already thinking back to school. How health leaders in one county moves to get students vaccinated before the first day of class.
And thanks for joining us on this Thursday for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Ben Dennis, in for Annalisa this afternoon. We'll get to those top stories in just a moment, but we start as always with a look outside. Beautiful shot of Roslyn in Virginia, Mark.
Yeah, but if you stepped outside, Ben, it's a good day to limit your exposure. That's for sure. You have the heat and the humidity, and I guess no relief anytime soon. Let's head over now to weather forecaster Brittany Ward, who's in for Damon Matson this afternoon. And again, Brittany, it's going to be like this for a while.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? We are finally beginning to see the storms fire up across portions of the DMV. Take a look at radar showing you the past hour just west of I-81. We did start to see some storms develop, but once they started getting over the mountain ridge, we're starting to see them weaken. But then heading over to Madison and just southern Culpeper, we're still starting to see those showers begin to roll their way into our area. And this will be the common trend as we head into your Thursday evening, and then come Friday, we are tracking some more storms. Temperature wise, guys, still fairly hot out there. 93 currently in DC, 95 there in Leesburg, 90 as you head over there to Martinsburg, 93 as you head over there to Cumberland. So it was definitely a hot day, and we have another hot day in store as we head into your Friday. Now, come tonight, those lows begin to dip down, so we get a little bit of relief in that heat, but it's still going to be fairly warm out there. 74 is expected to be the low in DC, upper 60s as you head over there to the Martinsburg and the mountain counties. And overall, we'll be sitting under a mixture of clouds out there, but those storm chances, they'll begin to spark up as we head into your evening and then following into your Friday. Here's a look at your brunch forecast. By 11 o'clock here in the nation's capital, we're going to be seeing those chances of thunderstorms roll their way in. Temperatures at the 11 o'clock hour already going to be in the lower 80s, and then we crank it up to the upper 80s as we head into that 2 to 4 o'clock hour with those showers and storms still in the forecast. Now, the main question is, will these storms be sticking around as we head into your weekend? I'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
All right, Brittany, thank you. Leaders around the DMV again declaring a heat emergency with these rising temperatures.
That's right, Mark. Now, the state of Maryland has reported their first heat-related death this year. The state health department says a 52-year-old man died in Cecil County, and they're pleading with people to stay safe and indoors if possible. DC's Department of Energy and Environment is asking you to look out for signs of heat stroke. These include no sweating, a fast, strong pulse, altered mental state, a throbbing headache, and loss of consciousness. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call 911 immediately or have someone take you to the hospital. Also, use a cold compress.
And here are some other ways to stay safe. First and foremost, stay hydrated. Drink plenty of fluids, but not all fluids. Avoid drinking fluids with a lot of sugar, and wear loose-fitting clothing. Avoid direct sunlight when you can, and take it easy when you're moving around outside.
All good there. Developing now, a construction worker headed to a job site in the district, shot and killed near Howard University.
Yeah, the early morning murder underscoring the random violence plaguing the city.
Our political and government reporter Leonard N. Fleming has been working to find out more about the man who lost his life. Leonard, good evening. We just learned the name of this victim. Who was this man?
Good evening, Mark and Ben. Yes, we have. We've learned that it is 34-year-old Rafael Gomez. And behind me, as you can see, the sign that says men and women at work. But they're not working today. They're off work now because of this random shooting that has been plaguing the district. The violence continues to escalate in D.C. Police officials think this was an attempted robbery. The unidentified, Mr. Gomez was on his way to work, putting on work gear, when he was confronted by someone in a white SUV. Police say the construction worker was shot on the sidewalk around 6 a.m. and died later at a nearby hospital. Authorities contend this isn't related to the college in any way. People like Wayne Grotti tell me they're just appalled at the continued violence in D.C.
Well, I'm very concerned when you got somebody 6:45 in the morning, going to work and getting shot and killed. That is real serious. Why is people angry? That's the question.
Police are still investigating the circumstances of this shooting, and just some perspective here, this shooting literally happened around the block from where Mayor Muriel Bowser was just literally a few weeks ago at a press conference here at Howard University. It shows what residents have been telling me, that these shootings can affect anyone in the district at any time. Reporting live in the northwest side of D.C., Leonard N. Fleming, DC News Now, back to you.
Leonard, thank you. And just into the DC News Now newsroom, police releasing an image of the car involved in this shooting. They say it's a white SUV with Maryland tags, license plate 5EW6340. A $25,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to an arrest.
In the meantime, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser continues her push for changes, as Leonard just mentioned, and in the wake of a council passing a watered-down crime bill earlier this week. We caught up with the mayor today and asked her about the tangible changes that she would like to see. Bowser said despite the recent action, there's more to be done before any real results can be seen.
Let me make it clear, changes to the law are necessary, improvements in programs and services are necessary, more community input is necessary, more prosecution is necessary, more holding people who are violent in our community is necessary. So there isn't one thing, but changing the law and quite frankly reversing some of the law changes that have been put in effect in the last 3 years, we know will help.
And the mayor added she looks forward to working directly with the city council on solutions to cut back on violent crime.
Well, the ACLU of Maryland is asking for an investigation into an agreement between Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. Well, this comes after the federal indictment of former Sheriff Charles Jenkins was charged with bringing machine guns into the department from a private dealer. ACLU claims that Jenkins misused and abused his office's authority by stoking, quote, anti-immigrant hate. It also alleges that inhumane conditions at the county jail. Be sure to stay with us for more developments.
And new tonight, the cost of your commute in Loudoun County could get more costly. The Australia-based company that owns and operates the Greenway, the stretch of highway that extends beyond the Dulles Toll Road, they want to raise tolls 40% during rush hour travel. Haley Milon covers Northern Virginia for us and looks into how this could impact your wallet and time.
When I talked to commuters here in Virginia about the Greenway, I got a lot of grimaces, a lot of, ooh, it's too expensive. I try not to take it. And they say that's the catch-22. The county needs to go build and repair free public roads, which leads to a decrease in revenue for the company.
I make sure I plan my day out to take like an extra 20 minutes just to make sure I get around.
Myron Wells avoiding the pricey Greenway commute no matter the lengths. And the trip could get steeper. The Greenway is privately owned by Australia-based Atlas Arteria. They filed a request this week with the State Corporation Commission to hike tolls nearly 40%. Taking the route during peak hours would go from $5.80 to $8.10. That means you take the road daily to and from work during peak hours, you'd be paying nearly $1,200 more per year.
That's insane. That's a lot of money, like $8 just for one way.
In its filing, the company justifies the request by citing significant increases in its debt in coming years and lower than anticipated ridership.
I think the tolls are already too high.
Delegate Suhas Subramaniam says 2021 legislation prevents unjustified rate hikes, requiring State Corporation Commission approval to increase tolls. He says the counties had to improve and add to public roads because people just can't afford the toll.
Of course, that's going to lower ridership, sort of like a chicken or egg situation.
And he thinks things need to backtrack.
Long term, I'd like to see a solution where we're driving down toll rates and we're getting to a place where everyone can afford driving on this road.
There's no date yet on the decision on the requested rate hike. The State Corporation Commission will weigh feedback from community stakeholders before making that call. In Ashburn, Haley Milon, DC News Now.
Haley, thank you. Well, before we know it, it will be time to go back to school. And in Washington County, Maryland, the health department is reminding families about their back-to-school vaccination clinics. Now, students can be vaccinated for measles, mumps, and other infections. This is all in accordance with guidelines for children and adolescents from the Center for Disease Control. Local officials say that there should be no anxiety about the vaccinations coming out of COVID, and the health department is ready to answer questions that parents may have.
These are the vaccinations that we've all had as children. They're the vaccines that we're all familiar with. We just want to make sure all of our kids have them in advance of getting back into the schools.
And the vaccination clinics are being held weekdays this summer at the Washington County Health Department on Pennsylvania Avenue in Hagerstown from 1 to 7 p.m.
Some good information there. Other news in the world of medicine. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the first over-the-counter birth control. The birth control called Opill was created by the company Perrigo. It's the first of its kind to be sold over the counter, making it accessible to everyone. Shipments of the product won't begin until next year, and there won't be age restrictions either. Perrigo has yet to announce a price. Our Capitol Hill correspondent will have more on this announcement in just a few minutes.